Okay, here's a little ooh part for everybody. I was sent a video and they said, hey, watch it at this time right here and see what you think about this. I had made a comment on Antarctican people and stuff like that. And I said, well, there's some anomalies out there, but we'd have to check them out. And he goes, well, check this out. So it took me a while to find it too. I was actually looking way down over here and right off of those mountains a little bit. And I'm like, I can't find it. But then I looked back at it again and this hump wasn't there. In fact, it was like these bunny ears and these two here, and what I thought was this black area here is the one that's right up here. So we're going to go down onto this a little closer, and I'll go back out so you can see it again. But you can see where this is now and the way that shoreline looks, and the darkness of it there right in the middle part. As we come in, there's a mountain range that's right there. Now you can see through this area right here, hopefully it's all washed out in white, but through this area right here you can see a glacier that's been running itself down there. It almost looks like running water right now. In fact, there's been a small one that whipped right through here, and where we're looking is just off of that on the edge of this mountain that's right there that you see here, right? You don't see anything. I don't see anything either, but as we go in closer onto it, of course it changes its little optic there. And then all of a sudden, right here in this little crest, hidden in a pass behind a mountain, is this odd shaped thing right here. And people have made all kinds of comments where it looked like some kind of Millennium Falcon and all kinds of middle comments. In fact, my initial comment was, well, this thing's about the size of Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys play at, in the retractable roof kind of situation, but it's all cut in just weird segments. And that makes no sense. And people have, some comments I saw on the video that he told me to go and watch said that they thought that it was just some type of ice formation that had broken itself all loose from everything else. Strangeness too to this, if I go in one more, you can tell that the water out here is deeper and darker, but there's water and canals that connect up into this part and then up into here, but also they don't totally connect to this, but these are pools of water that are just static here. Now, strange effect here, along with this, in that video, he was talking about that this whole area, let me go back out so I can show you where we're at. We're just going to go straight out, straight in, so no big deal. Slowly going out. There's that darkness. And so I get out to full. This is about as full as you get out. It doesn't look like it right now to your eyes, but I'm under the bottom of the world, so if I had the grid going on there, I've got this little circle down there at the very bottom, and radiant lines coming out from it, and if you pull it left and right, it keeps going. And where I am right here is off of Australia and Tanzania, these islands that are off of here. India's up over here, and you can see this lighter blotch that's here with this one island that's right there off of it, and these other islands that look like they would have probably be reaching the surface during the last global maximum. That's whenever the most amount of ice was trapped in the ice shelves that were around, the glaciers, and they end up being miles thick in some places, like all of North America and the very top part of it. But strangely enough, the Siberian area that's leading over into Alaska and the Americas did not have it frozen over. And we can verify that with all of the mammoths that are there in a driest situation, animals, plants, things like that were going on. It's a strange oddity where it was thrown off to one side, and after checking here, they say the whole ice here was also thrown off to one side. Effectively, like we were spinning with a little wobble over here and a little wobble over there, and they equaled each other in the amount of ice that's going on. But this place would have also been open. The whole area you're looking right here would have been open. In fact, it never closed back over with the glacier type forms. In fact, when we get back in on it, you can see it doing it in small bays and things like that. but it doesn't ever go out quite. If you really go around and look at other places, you can see it going out quite a distance. And then in fact a sea that's trapped in it, and you can see glaciers and little pieces, or icebergs and stuff, and pieces that were all broke off, that were huge chunks that are stuck in this frozen sea mass that they don't really have even at this point on this. It makes it, it's only a few hundred miles, well, 500 or 600 from the end of Australia that's right here. But of course Australia's real warm up there, but as you get down south you get, a lot bit colder. So again, I just want to go in on this thing again and show you where we're at here, so you can see the structure of the way that looks. And the half moon that's over here, and little bunny ears and so on that goes there. So when you get in on it, you can see that these glaciers are all trapped in that black spot right there in little clusters, to where it's almost broke loose, but not. And you can see whenever they freeze back over in all those other spots I talked about where it gets solid, and those are much larger. And just behind this spot here is that little black spot. And as we go in, you're really going to go right off of this black spot, right there where you see that little ridge. I've put that little mark there, and people say Tamanigi Krigi or whatever on it, and you go read there and things, and everybody's saying this is the alien base, this is the whatever, this is a da da da. Kind of odd, and by kind of I mean just really an ooh part. It's strange. Now this thing right here is over 100 foot wide. Just that center part is over 100 foot wide and over 150, almost 200 feet long. In fact, from point to point, it's real close to it, 180, 190. You go to the full size of it, and it's over 300 foot tall by about 260 foot wide, 340 so by that. So we're real zoomed in here. In fact, when I was looking at the other part, there was a ship that was sitting out there in the water distance, and I saw it. And it looked kind of like one of these little spots that are over here. And I went zoom, zoom. Oh, that's got to be a ship because it's pointed and even got the little crap going behind it. Okay, so that's how big a ship is. Whenever I found this, I'm like, okay, well this thing is huge, but it's not like dumb huge where it doesn't look like it exists. Also, notice that these walls that are making up, and let's see if I can go a little closer. Gets a little blurry, but these walls that are made here, where it actually looks like a straight wall, a straight wall, a straight wall, and it's almost like a double wall if you look, where it's got a buildup of ice on both sides and this ridge thing in the middle. Now I don't know if that ridge thing in the middle is a sunken down area, because in some areas, especially over here, it looks like it is, like there's a little path in between ridges and stuff where somebody could go around. So it looks like some kind of giant hill fort situation. Also looks a lot like those circles that we find all over South Africa, but people have found them now over in Jordan area, and there's a whole group of them there, and it shows you some primordial people that had gone around and done all kinds of things. Am I trying to relate it with that? Well, no, those look a little more circular, and this is so spoked out, almost like a wheel, but warped. At such a size, it makes almost no sense. If any of those glaciers that are near here that you can see would have been anywhere near attached to this, they would have just smeared this out of existence and you wouldn't know it existed anymore. Like the ones that are just cleaving off the side of this mountain here that are running down and running through these areas that are over here. But this is protected in that one little spot where even if one was going here, it wouldn't be going there unless this all got snowed over and then one was pouring out that way. Well, none of that's in effect, and in fact they're saying, look at the lack of ice that's on here, and it's snow and things, and this guy that supposedly knows is saying that this ice was not here 20 to 26,000 years ago at the last global maximum. For a period of many thousands of years, there was no ice here. There was growth and tundra and stuff like that, and what they need to do is get some archaeologists out there and dig down and stuff and do the same thing like they do for the Younger Dryas event and go, well, is anything growing here? What kind of pollen's here? Can we find any bones of anything? Da, da, da. Is there a giant penguin? Is there anything where? But it's real hard to get people to want to go down there, and then also it's got to have this old international flavor and blah, blah, blah. People talk about if they find something, they're going to hide it if it doesn't involve everybody somehow nowadays, versus reality, they want to be like that. But it's kind of weird. This over here looks a little weird to me too, but that's just an odd shape. But there's a swirl in there, so the mountain has a little swirl to it. That's no big deal. What does end up being a big deal is this giant shape that's right here. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, again, it's 150 foot across by almost 200 foot long, or more than 200 feet long. The scale down here is 100 foot by a rough inch. So literally each one of these cubes are about 100 foot, 100 foot, 100 foot, 100 foot, give or take a little bit in some. This one is bigger than that one, and so on. What's up with this triangle that makes it up? The only place that doesn't have perfect walls, and that one looks out of place if that is one, but there seems to be one missing in this area here. Seems to be one missing right through this water area. Seems to be one missing out in this area, but other ones are all there. What do y'all think about that? I mean, I'm not into super speculation without more knowledge necessarily so much, but it got me kind of weird. And whenever I saw this, I was like, huh, and I went back out and I came back in and I'm like, uh-huh, that's just different, isn't it? Well, let's go back out here and I can try to show you exactly where we are again one more time so you can check this out. And look how right now it looks like this whole thing is one big crater. But as soon as I go out bigger than that, nah, it doesn't have any roundness to it. It's also a strange shape right down there. But I'm going to go out. There's that mountain range. Out, and you can see the glaciers running through. Out. You can see the sea up above and the ice forming the sea. Out and out. Out and out. And now you see that lighter form that's up over in here, and that one island. It appears that it's out there. And if I pull this up, sure enough, that's Australia. Over there, there's the tip of South Africa. So, so it's directly right here, not quite under Australia, about out here, and you're about right straight in here, and then there's that dark spot, and then there you can see the V one that's here, and this almost looks like a wolf face, if you will. And you see these double hooks, and you go, that's that one right there, but it's not there, it's that rock that's right behind it about there. Yeah, kind of weird, but if you do this, you can actually go here and you go, okay, well here's the area where it connects to South America, and the little connective in between, and the swirl that goes in between that. So you can see this, but if I keep going, I end up going right back over that other side, and there I am again at that same place. This is where I was first investigating, but there's where it is, pretty much right there at the tip of my thing. Anyhow, y'all give it a look yourself. Just go to Google Maps and do this. I don't know if you can read the little numbers that are up there on top. I don't think it quite shows all of them, but yeah, I think well, maybe it does, but I've shown you where you can see it at anyhow. Give it a look. Let me know what you think.